I don't know, we have got a certain brain where we have a good knowledge of these technicalities, right? So Indians are very, very famous with, we are very well known globally, right? So one is engineering, one is IT industry, and what is the third one? In medical as well. Indian doctors are quite famous abroad as well, right? Now, why am I mentioning this? Because remember this data when we showed, this is of 2019, right? In 2020, pandemic hit us. It hit everyone badly, right? Now, after pandemic, the COVID, something changed. We all know that as well. When kids were studying in the school, since they can't go to the schools have started giving them coaching online, right? So we have started giving them smartphones or tablets, and then you started learning online. Right? Now that is called digitization. Digitization meaning trending towards the automation, world. Now after this 19 or 20, the world has changed, and literally, what is it happening now? Now people are getting more and more focused on game development, because every single person has got a smartphone, even a kid. Now, if you give a smartphone to a two-year-old, even he knows how to navigate around. Correct? So that is one of the biggest learning area that has come up in this world. Eco-technology. Now we know in our city itself how many electric vehicles are there. Right? Quite a few. Now that is going to jump up. Right? Other countries have already started thinking of going completely electric in their vehicle. Right? That is going to come up. So that is the future. Marine engineering and that is gaining precedence. Now, according to Western Union's report on education overseas, 52% of Indian students intend to study in artificial intelligence. Have you heard of AI, artificial intelligence? That is there in our report. Chat GPT is going to be second hand now. There's something else that is coming up. Something else has gained the momentum. Now Chat GPT is number 2 now. Number 1 is something else. Have you heard of Google, what they are launching?
DeepMind.
Right? What is the name, sir?
DeepMind.
DeepMind. Something similar, yeah. So the Google has created the AI in their complete software itself. So if, for example, you're using Microsoft Office, let's say Word, Excel, PowerPoint, how many of you know what I'm talking about? Are you able to understand what I'm saying? Am I speaking in Greek? Yes? Yes, am I speaking in Greek or English? English, right? So you are all able to understand me?
Yes.
Alright, please talk to me. Otherwise I will think that you have stoned out. Okay? Alright. So, Google have integrated their AI, the similar to ChatGPT, in their Microsoft Office itself. So very soon you will see in the Word document, in the Excel, you will give a command in a Microsoft Excel, say, create a chart for me with this data. Hang on, it will create for you. It is live now. Alright? I'm sure it's going to cost you, but again, it is live. So that is the future. So what we have been thinking about in the past, the engineering, the computer science, and all of that is getting refreshed. Why we are telling you this? Because don't stay in the old age now. This is the future that you need to think of. Artificial intelligence, digital marketing, ethical hacking, not the bad ones, but ethical ones, legal ones. Cyber security. These are the most common that is happening, that is gaining momentum in the market. There's someone called Vaibhav Singh, the co-founder of study abroad platform Leap Scholar. He says, advanced digital skill-based courses have seen a jump in demand, include the likes of machine learning, data analytics, cloud computing, etc. This is what is in demand. Right? If you are seeking your future, I'm sure you have got your interest. but also give a thought. I don't want to change what your need are. I want you to think as well. Alright? Now, so far we have looked at what is happening, what are the countries that we should choose, why should you choose. Now let's look at some application process a little bit. What will be the application process? Now some people have this question in mind. I want to study abroad. Yes, what do I need to bring? Right? What do I need to give you? These are the first things that come, right? How much money will you charge me? These are the common questions that come, right? So we have covered some of the aspects before, which is there is no cost from us. Number two, documentations are always necessary, similar to how our Indian government asks. If you want to apply for anything, there is a list of documents the government asks, right? The same thing happens here as well. It will definitely, you would need to have a passport. This is something. The certifications, whatever you have acquired so far, either it's an SSC, higher secondary education, or graduation, whatever you have, obviously you would need to submit all of those documents. Diploma, degree, anything that you have done provisional. That means maybe you have done some sort of diploma, or you have learned something, an ad hoc course. It's absolutely fine. You can add that. That will add value to your profile. Mark sheets. Now, certificate, just the certificate is not necessary. You will also require a mark sheet so that people can understand how much you have actually scored. Right? Sometimes a GPA gives you, let's say, 9 GPA, but one of the subjects you are, weak. So that's the reason they look at all of that. Transcript. Sometimes when you are applying for in European countries, let's say Portugal. Portugal is one of the countries where it says it would ask you to translate the document and submit. So wherever that is required, we would need that as well. So we just added that just in case. One of the most important one, your language proficiency. Either IELTS, PTE, TOEFL, you're not in your own country, you should definitely speak the general language, which is English. Work experience. This sometimes happens when either people are studying and working, or someone has studied, completed the studies, and they have a gap. In that gap, they have done some work. For that work, we would require some proof to show it to immigration officer, saying that this person, after studies, he has worked for so many years. Resume is one of the most important documents as well that we will require. Letter of recommendation. I'm just going to move on quick here. Statement of purpose. Anybody knows what is statement of purpose? Has anybody heard of this statement of purpose? Yes?
Statement of purpose, nothing. But why do you want to study there? What is the purpose of studying?
Okay, for study in so and so course. It gives, in terms of your personal note, what is your objective, what is your intention in studying there. Marriage certificate, if someone is already married, they might ask for it, and any other relevant documents they might require. Right? So this we have briefly given the application process just for you to know that there will be documents that will require, which is very common anywhere you go. Now comes the beautiful picture. Countries, what these countries can give us, how much money we are going to make, how much career progression we're going to get, all of that. But there's also an important factor, which is the rejection. Visa rejection. Study in a top university in the United States, you would need to have that much sufficient balance as well. And for you to show that balance, sometimes people have the money, but they don't submit the relevant document, right? And that's where we come in. Before we submit, we ask you, we check your profile, we assess you, and we see, is your document clear enough for an immigration officer? Abroad, not studying abroad. Now what do I mean by that? They are too fancy. I'm going to US, I'm going to UK for studying. on a study visa. But when they reach the immigration officer and the immigration officer asks them, you're going there for what purpose? What are you going to study there? And the person goes blank. He doesn't know what he's going there for. This course or a graduation, what are the courses that come in? He doesn't know the specialization. And that's too bad. If you want to study somewhere, you need to know for sure, if you are looking at any of the STEM courses, any other courses, you need to know what I will be learning. Making money is your secondary option. Your primary, you're going there to study, you need to know very well what are you going to study for. So, when the immigration officer asks you, you should be able to answer. And another thing is, in Canada, this especially happens in Canada, you might get a visa from here and you go to Canada airport. At the airport, there are 2 immigration officers in Canada. Right? At first round, the person briefly assesses you. He looks at you, he sees how you are okay and everything fine. If he finds something shady, something grey area, he pulls you to second immigration officer. And that's it, second immigration officer, he is going to grill you. Grill you meaning, he is going to ask you a lot of questions. And when he asks the questions, if you do not answer them, he is going to send you back from the airport itself. They are not going to allow you in the country. For what purpose? This happened, I believe if I'm not wrong, last year. One of the Indian lady, she has gone to she got a visa, she landed in Canada, she's at the airport. When they ask the question, what are you here for, what are you going to study, what are the subjects in your course, the lady couldn't answer. And they reported her from the airport itself. Now that's one of the basic elements that you should know because you are going on a student visa. Letter of acceptance. This comes from university. If I'm not wrong, recently there was a case, again in Canada itself. There were 700 students that were deported. Have you heard of this? Yeah? Yeah, some of you have. 700 students deported from Canada because of the letter of acceptance. The consultancy was a bit, wrongdoing, I would say. Information, that's very basic as well. When you are submitting an application, give your honest update, every single thing about your profile, your family members, everything, right? You need to give all correct information. Do not give any wrong inputs, right? Otherwise it's going to be a rejection. Gap years, we have talked about gap years as well. If you have gap, you need to justify in that gap from your education till today, what have you done? Right? If you are sitting idle, that's a big problem. You should be working, you should be learning, doing something in your gap period. Falling short on academic achievements. Again, if you're applying for a top university, right, top-notch university in US or UK, anywhere. However, if an immigration officer feels that you do not have sufficient funds, they might reject. Inadequate documents, again, some fraud documents, something that is not valid. Whatever reasons I'm mentioning here, these are the most common reasons I'm talking about, and this has happened. Right? This is not something we just made up. This has some countries, let's say the United States, when you go there, have our language expert with us, who is here today, and we would like to bring him up, and he will help how important is having a language proficiency. I would like to invite Mr. Sheikh Importance.
This event and the expert in immigration lab, Mr. Nizamabad, and N2O overseas. I congratulate him because such an event normally very usual doesn't happen here in the city Nizamabad. So he has taken a great effort to update the people of the process, as our two friends have spoken up to now. So, so before I start my talk, I would like to do something and even exercise with you. If I say something, you need to do quite opposite of it. Okay? Ready? Well, I ask you everyone to give thunders of applause to Mr. Navid Ahmed, who has traveled long miles and all over London to address with us. Please give a big hand. Something which is unknown to you. How many of you know that you need to pass the proficiency test, that's IELTS? How many of you know? How many of you know that you need to pass IELTS? Okay. How many of you know that there is a test that's called TOEFL? You know. How many of you know that there is a test that's called Duolingo, which many people do. You know, because it's so easy. Again. So guys, I will try to make you a little bit aware of the differences of this test, even the GRE as well. So first of all, IELTS, that stands for International English Language Testing System. Okay, it's mandated by the Cambridge University Press, and agency which conduct this test is called IDP. You know, elsewhere the IDP and British Council, both used to conduct this test. But now the IDP has taken all the rights, and IDP alone is the agency to conduct this test. These tests normally happen 4 times in a month. Every weekend you find the test. Sometime you will find the 7th. And for the people of Telangana, I can say that they have started another center that is in Warangal. Those guys who cannot travel to Hyderabad, if they are in Warangal or nearby the districts, they can attend this test in the Warangal as well. Alright. Now coming to the important points here, that this test has 4 skills, 4 components we're going to call it. LSRW, we normally call listening, speaking, reading and writing. Normally listening and speaking, if you talk about, the people say, I know English, I know. But as my friend has spoken, that's why the people are getting rejected in front of the visa office. Because you don't know the taxes has to speak. You know English, but you don't know how to express it. Because knowing is different, speaking is different. You need to learn art of speaking to different people in different scenarios. From the last 5 years, not only this IELTS and TOEFL, I teach the student for German also. I teach Russian as well. I teach Arabic to the foreign students. I have the student from USA, UK and Germany also. Now you have an opportunity that I am based in Nizamabad, so that you can get expertise in the field of TOEFL. Components LSRW. The structure is, as I think many of you have known, some of the students have seen that they have already attended this test. So guys, in order to qualify this test, you need to score at least 6.5 band score overall. Not less than 666 in each bands. There are some universities who offer you admission in 5.5 band also, or some 5 band also. If you are talking about the top universities, see, you need to check your eligibility, that whether I am eligible to get an admission to the top university which I am dreaming for. Your dreams are so high, but you are not fulfilling them, and Mr. Navid also will help you. But the question is, your score are so low, in your qualifying, you have scored very less. Could you go? No. You need to change another university, because the university have their own standards. They have set certain standard. You need to meet those requirements, then only you can go. So before that, what you need to do, you need to try, how can I meet those standards? You need to check the online, or you can visit to Mr. Yasir, he can guide you, that what are the meeting criteria. Examination, your qualifying examination is concerned. If you go by 6 bands, that you did not have the score of 666 now, somewhere in the reading also, you want scholars, because you can't fund yourself, you want somebody to support. So again the problem is, if you don't score well, you can apply for the scholars. Neither from the university where you have taken admission, or neither from the other social organization who wants to fund you. certain criteria. And same way, in India, in the Telangana state, we have the overseas scholarship scheme, which most of you know. That is called Chief Minister's Overseas Scholarship Scheme, which they offer you 20 lakhs. Now, question arises that if you want to get the scholarship, what do you need to do? Same as yes, but believe me, you can get this scholarship. Never, never. You fulfill the criteria. In the IELTS examination, out of the 4 skills, in 2 skills, majority of the Indians, they fall. Many of the students, they do well in listening, little bit, because they have mock practices everything. Question comes for speaking also, they try to speak little bit. Okay, they can score 5.5 to 6, sometimes 6.5, alone in listening and speaking. Coming to the reading and writing. Guys, you might have known that you have been studying the schooling and degree also, in your college studies also. In the schools, when the teacher used to teach you, they used to say this is a paragraph and the answer is from here to here. Teacher would have to say, and used to understand. In this examination, you must have that analytical ability to extract the answer from the passages. There will be lengthy passages. You need to study there. Each passages you will be having particular paragraphs. You need to read the paragraph and extract the answer. Sometimes in the answer, you need to give the answer in 1 word as well. You can substitute in 2 words also. You need to have good understanding of the text. That means you might be known about the jargons of the passage, about the vocabulary. You must have the good vocabulary started as well. The vocabulary which you must have good scholarship level intake so that you can do well. Now the question is, if you have know the English, my suggestion is you should study good books. For example, how you can improve your vocabulary, read vocabulary skill book related to that area. This will not only help you in the examination, but in also for further steps. As my friend has spoken previously, that you need to undergo with the visa officer's interview. So if you don't have the good skill to speak up, you don't have the good vocabulary to speak, how can you pass this test? Now, for example, you have passed this visa interview test and you have been led to the country of your choice. Now you have studied also, you started studying, now you are looking for a job. You are not well versed enough to speak and communicate with the people even in the country where you are living. How can you get the job? You will find rejection. Australia, or in France, or in Germany, from almost all 240 countries of this world. You have the students from India, from the Sri Lanka, from Bhutan, from Japan, from Singapore. You have the all, as my friend said it previously, that you have the multicultural society. You should be well versed enough in the matter of communication, in the matter of meeting the university standard. You should do it, so that these guys can do well for you. For example, I give an example of my friend Yasir has been suffering with a lot of students. They come, sir, please, process it. They don't know Asian words. These guys helping really is doing a lot of, is taking much pain. And they don't know what is the system. And they say, sir, is there any back door? I gotta go from this way. So guys, there is no back door. You need to enter from front door only. So I got a call at 20 in the Tulip. That guy scored 80, sometimes 75, sometimes 80. 3 times he attempted it. All together, chatting on the Instagram and many on the social platform. You have been wasting your precious time. You don't know this time is very good for me to build my career. You need to think of that. So you meet the criteria, you score well. For example, you want to go to Germany. Score well in IELTS. Also, at the same time, similarly, you study well German, at least to B2 level. For example, you want to go to UK, you study well in your IELTS or TOEFL, and also same time you increase your fluency skill. Job, and I will take more than 5 minutes. After that, my friend will speak of you because he is based in London. He can explain you the more better than me the scenario of how you get settled there also and get work. Everybody is dreaming. I will go, sir. I will have max out the fees. I will send it ready. How? You need to think of that whether you are employable, whether you have employability skill. For example, I have my company, and if you don't fulfill my credit, how can I take your company? Guys, the time has passed with the people that has to show very handsome boy, having hair, very nice, looking good. It doesn't know how much handsome you have, how much get up you have. His physical appearance in today's world doesn't know. Never and ever. The world is not looking which religion you are concerned, which community you are concerned, what is your background. It's gone. The doors are passed. Now today the world is on the skills. What are you going to give me to my company so that I can give you something? Give something, take something. So you need to increase employability skills. It's mandatory to today's world. It's a need of the hour. Lastly, coming to this TOEFL also is the same. That is called Test of English and Foreign Languages. And we have Duolingo. Almost all these 4 test guys, whether you find IELTS, we think like this. Or is there anybody we can purchase the IELTS examination? Can we purchase IELTS exam? No. They don't know IELTS certificate at least. They will say, sir, how can we purchase IELTS exam? No. Guys, nobody purchase IELTS exam certificate. They have been to US, but they got deported because it was false. Then I have been appealing you that from the stage of today's that you must work on the development of your own building fluency, basic skill. Lastly, I will say you that why students they don't score well. The biggest problem among the students of India is they don't have basic English. Do you understand what is mean of basic English? Basic means they don't have at least the that whether it's a noun, whether it's a pronoun, what is called adjective. Today also, you guys are been sitting. It is all we have undergone with this industry of teaching. If I gave you a paragraph today and ask you to identify how many adjectives are there, most of you will make mistakes. Why? It's not your fault. It's the fault of the system which is taught us. After completion, graduation, we have studied at least 15 years in the English medium up to graduation. But still we don't know what is adverbs. Majority of the students, I've been teaching students, I have an experience that they make mistakes in reading also. Simple spelling mistake, imagine that you have dreamed to go to Australia, you have dreamed to go to UK, but you are unable to read at least 2-3 words properly. Imagine. So basic improvement is the need before you appear in IELTS examination. And reading skills. Reading skill, the student may say, sir, my reading is good. No, guys. I am not talking about whether your reading is good or legible or illegible. I am talking about that your creative style. For example, you have given a topic. Why the students of this generation are more addicted to WhatsApp? You need to write details. You need to create an idea on that. So this is called creative writing. So they will be asking you to write the essay, that is short essay in 150 words or 250 words. There will be 2 tasks for you. You need to write. You have finished graduation, but you at least don't know how to write properly in a paragraph. Think of how will you get job in London. You have a dream. Think of that means you are not having send a message of meaning, invitation to the company where you are working. You don't know how to join the words properly, how to use the jargon of invitation. You can't do that. So basic writing skills with the proper basic grammar in a need of that. For that I have written a book. I am after also, which Yasir sir is aware of. He knows that. I teach the student from my own books. I have written the books Grammar Fashion in the new style. So it made the basic grammar so easy. And phonetic skill are my book where I can develop you to the phonemes so that you can, in that book I gave the small ideas and description that how you can overcome your MTI influence. How can you pronounce the word properly? Whether it's the British, whether it's the US, or a